Hello, everyone. Hope everyone watching this is having a great weekend. Recording here on Saturday the 19th, just after 1 o'clock here on the East Coast. Um, Playing Immaculate Grid once again. Really love people tuning into the show. Not much really to say about yesterday's game. I don't think it had the Brewers, so I had an unfair advantage. So I did all right. I got a rarity score of 12 at least the time I did it. Doing it with a smaller sample size, so maybe my rarity score on today's game will change a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to get right into it and start presenting and start playing. I don't think there was anything too crazy about SJ's game. Hitting refresh, and we only have two teams, and now the teams are up here. So we're not going to match players on teams, which is different. Um, Okay. Interesting. So we've got Diamondbacks and Yankees, 2001 World Series foes at the top. Um, 30-30 homer stolen base season on the far right side there. We've got All-Star 300 season and Gold Glove. Interesting. This is a little bit of a different one. There's some landmines here. I'm gonna be careful. All right. For 300 season for the Yankees, obviously there have been very, very many. I'm gonna go to one of the. I should go to like Murderer's Row and pick one of the unsung guys. How about Earl Combs? That'll be a pretty good one. Takes under 1%. I think he hit fifth in those lineups, if I'm not mistaken. Bob Musel would have been another pick along those lines. Just folks who aren't Ruth or Gehrig or even Lazari. Lazari, like I've tried that before for some of these, or like 100 RBI even, and he'll take like a little bit higher than that, like 1 to 2%. This episode is not brought to you by Coles. Doesn't matter how many times I keep doing it, it'll keep coming up. UFC apparently. 300 batting average in a season, and then 30-30 in a season. And I'm not sure if it has to be in the same season. Specifically, the use case I'm thinking of here is Barry Larkin. And I wrote about this in my book. Hey, I got the plug in. Baseball's most fun frivolities. Link will be in the description below. I wrote about this that Larkin won the MVP in the 1995 season and then had a vastly superior season in the 1996 season, including going 30-30. But the Reds didn't win the Central that year, so he finished like outside the top 10 in MVP voting. The only way in which he wasn't better from 95 96 is he had a better batting average in 95. I think he also stole a lot more bases in 95. But he would be an example of someone who would work here, except he hit just under 300 the year he went 30-30. So I don't know if I want to go with that option. Um, Yelich would work, Braun would work. I'm not sure what Tommy Harper's batting average was in 1970. I also know what Ken Williams' batting average was the year he I think in 1922 with the Browns when he went 30-30. Um, I also don't know if Willie Mays or Henry Aaron. I think Aaron probably works. I think Mays had a 30-30 season in there as well, or maybe two. Bonds will certainly work. I'm not brought to you by the UFC either. Let's see. Larry Walker would work. Ellis Burks would work. Dante Bichette would work. Those three guys in those mid '90s Rockies teams that we talked about yesterday, they would all work. Um, Larry Walker will also work down here. All of these guys will work up here. So that's an interesting one. For Yankees All-Star, I have a thought on someone who I think will do pretty well. Let's go Roy White. 0.2%. Reason I went with Roy White was he made all-star teams during kind of the um kind of during a down period in Yankees history, like pretty much 65 to 75 or something like that. I think he had a couple all-star appearances, and he was still on those 76, 77, 78 pennant winning World Series winning teams, but I think he was well past his prime by that point. But he was like the kind of uh, elder statesman leader, one of the leaders of that team, obviously with Munson and others. So um let's see, 30-30 season and an all-star. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of those. Um, I don't know if Tommy Harper works for that either. Ken Williams obviously won't work because I guess it's not obvious, but his 30-30 season was about 10 years before the first All-Star game. So I don't think he's going to work unless he made an All-Star game later and that counts. Again, I'm not super sure. Um, and then there's just like a whole bunch of people who will work. Um, let's see. Maybe we get. I'm just trying to avoid stepping on like a massive landmine. Um, let's see. Let's come over here. Diamondbacks who've hit 300 in a season. I should be able to get that one. I think I can get all of these. It's just a question of making sure I don't blow up the rarity score because that's the name of the game, right? There's other channels that do this and just try to get them all right. More power to them. I'm going for that rarity score. That's what I'm going for here. So let's see what I can do with the Diamondbacks. Um, Luis Gonzalez comes to mind. He would definitely work. He'll probably do really well. So will Goldschmidt. Um, so will oh crap, he finished the guy that finished center fielder finished second in the batting title in 2019. I'm blanking on his name. I'll come back if I can remember. Wondering if what about Alex Cintron? I think he had a 300 season. Let's try him out. Like '05 maybe. What about Micah Owings? He was a really good hitting pitcher. I don't know if he ever hit 300 though. I can't say that with any confidence. Cintron goes under 0.1%. Getting that from the Diamondbacks, I'm real proud of that. That's like that's pretty clutch. Diamondbacks have a long, like that's way more impressive than getting 0.6 out of the Yankees. Like the Yankees have had all sorts of 300 hitters. I probably could have gone for someone even more obscure than Mr. Combs here, but um okay, I'm pretty stoked on that one. Let's see. Want to get a Diamondbacks also. I think their first All-Star was Devon White. Pretty sure of it. Let's get him in there. 0.2%. Good job, Devon. Did not have a 30-30 season, but I think he had some 2020 seasons. All right, so I just need anybody who's had a 30-30 season and was an all-star, and I think those things in the same year. I want to say Joe Carter works for this one. It's the answer is in here in my book. I wrote about the '87 Cleveland Indians team that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and didn't win. But now I think he was just short of 30-30 that season, the year before, the 1986 season. Yeah, landmines everywhere. As I'm very confident that Dante Bichette will work. Let's see how he does. 1996. 300 and 30-30. Under 1%. Okay, still going strong. 30-30 and an all-star. And there's again a lot. There's probably some that like Like I know Ian Kinsler was the 30-30 guy. No idea if he was an all-star that season. I also don't know if that matters. Um, I'm quite sure Barry Larkin was an all-star in 1996. Um, Barry Bonds, all-star a whole bunch of times. Burks, I'm not sure about. Um, I would think so. I would think he was an all-star in 1996. Yeah, huge year. Um, Raul Mond. Oh, that's a good one for here. I think that's going to be a good one for here. Let's go Raul Mondesi. He was definitely a 30-30 guy, I think twice, 97 and 99, if I'm not mistaken, and had a cannon for an arm. I know he was a Gold Glove winner, but not with the Diamondbacks, but did play for the Diamondbacks. He also played for the Yankees. Works for, but I don't think he won Gold Gloves with those teams, so let's just get him in there. 0.4%. All right, still going pretty strong. It would be very weird if the hapless 1970 Brewers, if Tommy Harper was not the all-star representative from the Brewers. I'm trying to think who else even would have been the guy, which would make that a pretty good pick. Because I mean that was not a good team. Brewers weren't good for like 8 years. Um, and I mean, I don't think they would have anyone other than Harper who would have been all-star. There's so many other choices though, and I can't say with any certainty. Like my mind is not envisioning Tommy Harper with his batting line. I know he went 30-30 in the Brewers' inaugural season of 1970. Technically their second season because they were the Seattle Pilots the year before. I don't know if he went there. I don't know if he was all-star that season. Let's try him. Let's see what happens. Let's get it in there. Yeah. All right. So now I just need Gold Glove winners from the Diamondbacks and the Yankees. I wonder if Finley was a Gold Glove winner with the Diamondbacks. Um, Gold Glove winners are a lot tougher. I think Gerardo Parra will work. I also think that'll be somewhat popular because that was in the last 10 years, but I'm pretty sure he won a Gold Glove. Um, I don't think Matt Williams won Gold Gloves with the Diamondbacks. He was a good defensive third baseman, as I recall, but Robin Ventura, around that same time, had come over to the National League, played with the Mets, and I think he was probably winning those Gold Gloves, at least until like Adrian Beltre and Scott Rowland started winning them. So I doubt Matt Williams would work. Steve Finley might. Steve Finley definitely won Gold Gloves, plural. I just don't know if they were with the Diamondbacks. I think at that time you could have Gold Gloves from you would just have three outfield Gold Gloves, not left center right field Gold Glove, which I think is the case now. Because otherwise Andrew Jones was just winning Gold Gloves for basically the entire first decade that the Diamondbacks were even a team. So um Orlando Hudson is another guy who might have won a Gold Glove. And with the Yankees, I want to say Thurman Munson was a Gold Glove winner. Jeter, I think, will be pretty popular because he famously won Gold Gloves that probably should have gone to other people. Um, Tino Martinez, maybe he was pretty good for defensive first baseman. I think he probably would have won some late '90s Gold Gloves. Of course, Palmeiro was winning Gold Gloves even when he wasn't even the first baseman, as I've talked about before on this channel. O'Neill, I'm not sure about. Bernie Williams definitely won Gold Gloves. And remember, Gold Gloves go back to the 50s. So Roy White even might have worked. Thurman Munson, I'm fairly certain will work. Nettles? I'd be very surprised if Nettles didn't win a Gold Glove. I think that's a good pick. Let's try him. Takes 4%. Okay. Not great, not terrible. I'll take 4%. I'm wondering if any of the guys I mentioned other than him might have been better. And then Gold Glove, well, with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I'm coming up with Para, and that might be just a tad obvious. I don't know. I think Goldschmidt, people know he's a good defensive first baseman. Parr was one of the guys, just his defensive metrics were really starting to come into vogue. He was like one of the better defensive outfielders in the game. And so I'm pretty confident in him. And then Orlando Hudson, I'm pretty sure would work as well. In fact, I'm gonna dial in Hudson. Let's see if I get it. I got it. All right. Got it. 110,000 played so far. That's just sample size. I'm just curious. I think these usually end up in the 220-ish range, a little bit more on the weekend, I think. But this one was a tough one. Goldschmidt was the best as predicted, with 58% there. Or sorry, 58% is how many got this. So it was the tough. Sorry, this was the toughest category: Gold Glove and 30-30 season. Barry Bonds was the best there. And I said Mondesi. I like my Mondesi pick. That was just remembering that Mondesi had a cannon for an arm. Um, there's been 10 Gold Glove winners. They do this thing. I'm not going to go through and try to figure it out. Looks like Greinke was one of them, though. 10 Gold Glove winners in the history of the Diamondbacks, 26 in the history of the Yankees. Yeah, I could have gone probably even better than Combs. Combs was under 1%, but you could probably go that next power of 10 down. And then we've got 76 Diamondbacks. Let's just play around in here. Ooh, Danny Batista would have been a good one. Was Owings in here? He was in here. Micah Owings would have worked. All right. Maybe I'll try that on my phone later. Gene Skira, love him. A bunch of guys I'm not that familiar with, but I'm sure a lot of them might have. Even Roberto Alomar's in here. Cool. A lot of guys in here who probably just hit 300 for a partial season. Craig Counsell, manager of the Brewers. A lot of fun ones. And that's what this game is. It's just lots of fun. So hope this was cool. Post comments, hit subscribe, do all that podcast stuff that people say to do. Warms my heart to see it all. So hope this was fun. Have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.